There we go. Didn't have anything organised. Right. And good morning, everybody. How are we doing? Unfortunately, hair's not right. So I'll adjust that now. Also, I need to get this up a little bit. There, that's better. I think that's it. Very good. Right. Good morning, everybody. Coffee time. How's everybody doing? Right. I'll kick into action in a minute. So, been a very, very, very busy week for me. A lot of playing, I must admit. Did one stream last week, which was great. It was really well received for a live stream for me. I think it'll be hitting 600 views. I wonder if they watched it all. But I noticed that my watch hours significantly went up, which is really good. But I learned something from it. Yeah, it's nearly gonna 597. However, it was a guitar lesson. All right, so I wonder who's here. Do reveal yourself in the chat, because it's quite lonely being here on my own, drinking my coffee. I like the company in the morning. Brilliant. Well, everything seems to work. Right. And oh, I'll say that. Right, bit of a tune needed here. Ah, there's Magnador. How you doing? Bit too much effects on the guitar. It's better. Right, I'm working. All right. Yeah, Magnador, how are you doing? It's good to have you on the stream. Anybody who's on here, do check Magnador's music out. It's very, very cool. Magnador did a collaboration with us on for Freakstar on the track we did with him, called Chemical Dreams. All right, and it was brilliant and really interesting band, Magnador. Like, one thing when I was when I made that track, what really attracted me to the collaboration was Magneto have these really great ambient melodic textures in their music, and I just had to do something with one of those. So, yeah, I'm great, Magneto. So I just had to do something with one, and no time at all. In fact, if I remember rightly, the whole track was actually wrote on live stream. Believe it or not, Magneto. The whole thing was. I didn't get a copyright strike either. But I'd actually pre-edited all of the parts out that I was going to use, and I literally wrote the track there and then on a live stream, and I believe it was done in about 3 streams. But I think it was done. I mean, that track flew together, and it was done in about 8 hours. Oh, there's Gramps. How you doing, Gramps? Zero what? Zero effects, yeah? Can you hear that? Yeah, you can hear. There you go. There you go. Or do you want more effects than that? And it's really early in the morning. I need my effects, Gramps. What have we got? Just clean. Cool. Well, I'll come to that. Let me get warmed up. So it's an interesting one, clean, because I do primarily practice on clean. But the last week we did basically we did everything you needed to know about legato on guitar. And the one thing about doing legato the way that I do it is when you're practicing it, you need to kind of practice with the sound that you're going to be using. So if you're going to be using distortion, the thing with distortion and legato and hammers only is you need to be able to control the noise. So good warm up for me, isn't it? Like one of the exercises we did was just like a simple like C major. Sounds like there's a lot of effects on the guitar, but when it's in with the track, it's like kind of mixed to the track, really. Oh, picking on the wrong guitar here. That's it there. So you need to be able to control all the noise, which is, as I was saying, is as much of the technique as the actual like playing the left hand motion. Yeah, so that's kind of part of it. So you do need that. But other than that, like, I practice pretty much clean. I have like a special practice patch, which isn't here. Hi, Chris, how you doing? Nice and clean legato, thank you. I've just woken up this morning, so, I tend to do morning streams. I've started doing evening ones, so my routine is literally awake. The alarm's set, believe it or not, at like 5:45, so I have 15 minutes to set up for this. So I have a routine now, so I have to like get up, switch all the lights on, switch the computer on, then I run upstairs, and then put the kettle on, so that's boiling. Come back down again, then I put like my clothes on, then I come back here and then set all the other bits up, launch the program, and I'm pretty much ready to go. But like I'm still waking up, like now. But I've been doing. I mean, I don't know how long you've been following sort of my journey back into sort of like playing in a band and well, really just getting involved in guitar music because initially I started McRocklin Hutch in 2017-18, I think. It was 2018 with Thomas. And initially it was kind of a collaboration with an electronic music dance producer and Thomas shredding on guitar. But then it kind of, I've always been a shredder, but I was a dormant one. And not really doing anything. Like it wasn't a focus of what I was wanting to do. I just really wasn't like interested in guitar playing. But my interest is massively spiked, to say the least, in the last sort of like maybe it's 2 years, and I'm fully back into it. And it's amazing how it's never too late to progress your playing. I'm not saying I'm old or anything, but it's just, like I think the interesting thing about guitar now and sort of kind of relearning it in a way, is the real success to it is just knowing what you're going to do next, really, and then pursuing those things and making sure that you're always trying to do something different, and it might just be a little thing based on stuff that you already know. At the minute I'm like really into sort of pentatonic stuff that has really awkward fingerings. I'm quite obsessed with it, to be honest. And I thought I wouldn't be. It's like one of those things I nearly gave up on, really. But I'm not, and it's like doing patterns. Doing stuff like that. I'll zoom in. So this would be like E minor pentatonic, really. And then if we take it from position, this would be position 5, actually. You get these little arpeggios. Sorry, I'm not quite warmed up yet. But you've got to have these little awkward stretches. So it's quite, I'll play it slow. So it's just a bit very stretchy, but sounds great. It sounds different kind of thing. They're very useful patterns. Like little runs like that. It's really cool. So I'm quite into that kind of stuff at the minute. But of course you get like tons of these positions and then you got to learn them all and then you got to learn how to kind of fit them into your playing. Stuff like that. And it's just finding different sort of positions to go to, different stuff. Things that I'll do is look at, pre-existing licks that I have, and then look at how I can kind of link them in different ways. I thought that was a really good one the other day. So that's just linking an A minor 9 and then an E minor 9. Pretty much, and then doing this pentatonic thing at the end. But the cool thing about it is actually, if we're in E minor, like just straight, like natural minor, sometimes we don't want that C note, so one thing you can do is just like flatten notes. So I do a lot of this, or just move notes about onto a preferred note. So we can flatten that C, make it a B, and you get like a pentatonic scale. So we get stuff like that, which I think's sort of like what I'm working on, and just linking things in new and interesting ways. I think one of the problems that I think I have though is, I mean, at the minute I have like a huge abundance of ideas, and I can't remember or physically put them all into what I'm doing. It's just too big, because I had a bit of a scale arpeggio explosion. As some of you'll know, so I got into like Tim Miller's 212 stuff, and that just ends up that you end up with like millions of these arpeggios that you can use and improvise with, and gets quite overwhelming, you know. But they all sound they sound really, really cool, and it's just really, you know, dead practical stuff. I'm gonna do some lesson videos on this, but yeah, just like really cool. Like something like that is like dead handy. He's really good. I love his. What I like about it is the cool thing about sort of all of that stuff is Tim Miller's idea for, like, because he's a fusion thing, so it's great. You know, I'm not really a fusion player, but I'm a rock player who likes to pull bits of fusion into rock, and it's very, very accessible, his stuff, to do that, you know. So like the stuff translates well into my playing, I think. So there's a few players that I'll go to for ideas, you know. But I mean, I love his thing, you know. So you can stack that 212. I mean, we know it, like the typical thing that we'll see, you know, Greg Howe and Richie Cotts and all those people will do. It'll be that 212 patterns where you just, like, if it was a minor 7. You'd have that. So basically, we're extending it across, like, you know, 6 strings and taking that principle. We can have really cool arpeggios like this, where we stack. You can stack, say, just like minor triads, right? This is probably the easiest way to understand it, right? I haven't really prepared a lesson here, but I'm talking about it now. So we can stack, minor triads. So you can have an E minor. We can have A minor, okay, we can have G major, and we can have an E minor at the top. So you have to forgive my tone at the minute, because like one thing about this, right, is I've kind of forfeited my sweet picking for I'll show you, like the way that I kind of do things with the right hand, as I'm doing 2 downs and a hybrid. It takes me a little while just to get my tone in. Once I get the feel in there, you can hear it's like it cleans up really nice. So yeah, like so you can take something like, you know, those 3, the minor, major, minor shape, and then you can modify them. So like what I was saying before is we do, I mean, I don't like to say the term, like there's the avoid note, which is, if we're in E minor C, which is the minor 6th, say that might not be fitting with what you're doing, you can simply just move it down, and we get this kind of flavour, which is sort of giving this a 9th feel to this arpeggio, and then we can just add in the usual notes. Okay, if we didn't like the next arpeggio now, we could do the same to that, and we get that kind of flavour. And then if we wanted to keep going with that, you know, you could just flatten the next third. So we could have this now. So now we're getting something really interesting. The only like caveat I find with this, and this is the bit that I'm practicing all the time, is kind of how your hand's folded in on itself. See that you do a lot of that kind of crossing 3 and 2, 3 and 4, and 2 and 3. But there are other things we can start modifying. We can start like moving the last note, right? This is one I really like doing. So we could try this. We could have that shape. That's like one of my favourite ones. Oops. So I think that's a great like sounding arpeggio. And it just goes on and on and on. So that's just like one sort of position really. And we've got 3 different arpeggios out there, haven't we? We've got like that, and all those variations. You know, so it kind of goes on. You can get some like quite cool pentatonic ideas as well. So where you're repeating notes. When your fingers work. Like that, you know, so like something like that. I'll do it in A. So you can get just really interesting stuff that you don't normally get from you know what I've normally been doing. Yeah, I've got to warm my fingers up. Like it's like this hand's like. Yeah, it sounds really good, doesn't it? So I really like the repeated note stuff. Oh, look, there's another one here. So it's a really great way, and a good little arpeggios to then jump off into something else, you know. Into your usual licks, you know. Once you get them under your fingers, they're great. But as I say, it's the right hand. Because I was looking at this for a while. We'll do a sweep in it. So I wanted a little bit more legato-y sounding than that, which is why I opted to have like the hybrid in. I think I get like a nicer blend of it than I do with the pick. Saying that, if I need to get quicker with it, then I have to use a pick. Oops. And just endless possibilities to explore, but it's like it's practicing them all, you know. It's like you need. I mean, luckily for me, I've got like time to. I'm in a situation where actually all of my practicing is like in an improvisational situation. So I'm like really keen on doing sort of like these little micro practices, and I'll pick maybe it's one of these arpeggios and then just put it in an improvisation and see how I can link it in. Cool. Speaking of which, I should do some playing, shouldn't I? Oh, you didn't get notified? Right, we need to pick some drums. So, started making a vlog and brought up. Cool. See, if I didn't like that last note, that one, sorry, that one there, I can change it. You can just modify the arpeggio. It's great, that 2-1-2 thing. You can just modify the arpeggios however you want. Well, it's a good start for a bit of a warm-up, innit? Hey, where's the... How we doing in the chat? Alright. Let's have a look. What? Alright, got a small story. Brilliant. Just get this all sorted. So, started making a vlog and brought it up. Oh, hold on. Bit of an amateur at this. Started making a vlog and brought it up in Polychrome and talked about it for a few minutes. Cool. Then I rendered the video and accidentally deleted, so I thought it would be better to ask if this sort of thing is okay. Well, just ask Thomas. I'm sure Thomas would love the any sort of promotionally kind of thing would be great. I would imagine, but just ask him and send him your stuff and see what he thinks. He'll give you feedback. Definitely. But yeah, just ask. It's Thomas's thing. But Mech, I mean, like, all that stuff's really cool, though, isn't it? Because you're using it on synths and stuff, and it's just like, just because it's a guitar plugin, we don't have to just use it on guitars. Obviously, it does sound great on synths and things like that. So I'm like Thomas, and I don't think anybody's really done any videos on, sticking a synth through it. So certainly something I would like to see somebody else doing that. So trying to get warmed up. So I think I've been complaining about this all week. It's just like I do overplay. It is a choice, but I get so excited playing guitar. I just want to do it all the time. Yeah, I'm using it on synths and effects plugins, kind of. Yeah. I think we talked about this before, Mike. I know, like, for a fact, right, when you look at my template, like, none of my synths ever have the internal effects, like, on them. And I've always been like that about it. I've never really wanted to use internal effects on synths unless it's, like, something I can't be bothered. I mean, if it's just straight delays and choruses, I'm just not going to bother. But if it's like something that's really integral to the sound and you take it off and it's completely different, then I'll leave it on. So like sometimes serum patches are like that. But other than that, I just want basically a synth, and then I'll put the effects on it because, you like to be able to control them, don't you? But yeah, I mean, even stuff like diva effects, I'll not use them. I don't even know why they're there. And the TAL stuff, like back in the day, never used to have effects on. They put them on now, so I'm not really sure. I mean, people must use them, the effects on synths, but I just find that I don't want like every synth having a different delay and stuff like that. So you're like switching them off and all this kind of thing. It's just easier to have things on an auxiliary where you can just tap into whatever effect you want, really. Yeah, Faceplant's really good. I mean, I've got that. I haven't done much with it, to be fair. But like Serum's just like, I've grown up with Serum, basically. I got Serum when it first came out. In fact, Xfer Records make really good plugins. I started with, what's the drum machine he does? Like, that drum machine was just at the time, absolutely, I mean, it still is incredible. What is it called? What's the drum machine called? Can you remember, Mac? But it was just like super fast to make a beat on. But then you had all these effects inside, and the thing with those effects is you had things like saturators. When you adjusted an effect, it rendered it to the sample inside, so it saved loads of CPU. I think the thing is, like, I haven't got into phase plant because it needs a little bit of time spent on actually playing with the thing. Nerve, that's what it's called. That was the drum machine. The drum machine was called Nerve, and that was just brilliant. And actually, it was the first time I really experienced a tool being made by a producer that's like kind of totally made for the demand and the need that he needed it for. And that's why it was just so powerful in, hate the word, but workflow, and it worked so well because it was a working tool that he'd made for himself. So yeah, I was totally on board with that. Made tons and tons of stuff with that. I mean, you can make a whole track on it. Actually, I could make like just simple like disco-y house stuff on it. But that was like, yeah. And Dead Mouse, that's very good. But yeah, Steve seems like a great guy, Right. Unreal. Right. Interesting. So, all right. The Unreal Engine stuff sounds interesting. I know it's like a computer game thing, but that's about all I know. If I'm assuming it's being used in a musical kind of way. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's an excellent producer, isn't he, Joel? Amazing. Hi, Perplexity, how are you doing? getting distracted with a groove there. Oh, thanks, Devian. Perplexity. Thank you, Devian, for saying amazing. Wake up call on Monday. Great way to start the week. Excellent, Francis. Yes. Yeah. So I've just come on. I haven't actually planned anything. I tell you what, it's my birthday. But I decided to do a live stream anyway and stick with my morning routine. I wasn't doing many streams last week because something came up which I just needed, very important, to do with my career that needed attention. So I've had some cool things happen, which require me to do a little bit of work last week, which is sorted now. Nearly sorted, actually. I've got a few things I need to do, but that was cool. Got tons of playing done. Thank you. I did get a birthday present. I got a slipper. What do you think? That's like the slipper I got. I'll zoom in on it. So that's what the missus got me. Look at that. Check it out. Look at the detail. So I got really rock and roll stuff, as you can see. Kind of the moccasin stitching. Just in case anybody's wondering, what I wear on my feet when I'm knocking out these heavy, cool riffs. A pair of those slippers. And what else have I got? And I got a carpet. So I've got a new studio. I got a new studio carpet from IKEA, because Yvonne was like, just things with studio carpets is you put lots of stuff on them, don't you? And then it's really difficult to change them. So it needed changing. So I've changed it. I've got this lovely thick pile that I'm standing on. So I've got my slippers and my feet are on a carpet, and it just feels just brilliant being in the studio doing stuff. Thank you for the birthday wishes, everybody. But it's nice to be alive and to get to this point and still be playing guitar. Initially, I wanted to be Michael J. Fox from Back to the Future. That was my aim when I was like, I don't know, however old, very young, 8. Oh, you got your birthday on Halloween? Cool. Oh, so I've got to do a bit of promotion as well. I forgot about that. Basically, there's new music out. Chemical Dreams is out. Chemical Dreams by Freakstar on Spotify. I'll just see if I got a link. Let me have a look. I'll just see if I've got the link. Well, it's not legit coffee, it's just instant coffee. It's not like what Thomas makes out of a proper machine. None of that. See if this works. Oh, that's the artist, isn't it? Or maybe it's this one. It's just like the link that I got off email, so I'm just using that. It's not like it's like a proper one, but that should get you there. So that was a collaboration with a band called Magnador. So what just to be totally clear on this, what Freakstar is my very old band from back in the day. So we're talking late 90s. And there was just two members, me and my other half, Wilson, who's a wonderful singer. And we've kind of relaunched. So, I mean, she's absolutely like on fire at the minute, wanting to do stuff. I mean, she's got the Freakstar YouTube channel, and she's always like putting like bits of stuff up on it, which is highly entertaining. But that was just like a new track that we wrote. But actually, we've got a ton of legacy material which is getting released, which was done sort of, as I say, back in the late 90s, which was never ever released or done anything with. And the reason being is because we were going to be massively famous and signed to a huge record deal, so we didn't want to be releasing our stuff. But there's plenty of stories around sort of Freakstar, and I'm sure at some point Wilson will share. The interesting thing is that track was written on a live stream as well. So hopefully that link will work. All right, hold on. I'm going quiet here. What's on? See how that comes out. So what this is just like the random synth sound that I use, and it just does like oh, hi Russell, how you doing? Hold on. Algorithm brought me here. Hello from Oregon, USA. Hope everyone's doing well. Oregon, I should say. Sorry, it's my dyslexia kicking in there. Hope everyone's doing well. It's a pleasure to have you on here, Russell. Oh, and before, so anybody who's here for the first time, if you can give me the like, thumbs up, brilliant, and also a subscribe. Russell, so hopefully you're a musician or a music lover. If you're a musician, really good, because like lots of cool stuff happens here. Basically, I'm what you call a music coach. I do lots of sort of live kind of performance jamming things. I do lots of writing of music on here, tons of production, all that kind of stuff, and lots of kind of creative, insightful stuff as well. So that might be of interest, but if you could subscribe and get the notifications, that'll be good. I mean, today isn't a particularly planned session. I've just decided to like get up and start just start playing basically, and see what happens. So forgot I was tuned down to 8. Oh, chaos. I've forgotten how to do this. Right, here we go. Oh, right. That felt good. Must admit, my playing's a little bit rough this morning, but, you know, I've just woken up. Let's have a look what's happening in the chat. Oh, thank you, Faja. Best. No. Thank you, Digimatrix. So anybody who isn't subscribed, do subscribe. Sounds great. The line stones on my homepage feed, so figured to stop by and following. Thank you. I'm trying to work out how to pronounce your name. Frozen Fury. Brilliant. Thank you. Yeah, so do subscribe and like and stuff like that. Which would be absolutely brilliant. So there's a couple of things going to be happening. I'm thinking about a new, because last week I did like the lesson on everything you need to know on legato. I'm going to do a follow-up lesson on that, probably going to be next week, I think, possibly this week. And that's just about, so literally the last lesson was pretty much all about kind of legato and left hand technique, but I do want to look a little bit at sort of what you can do with your right hand and just ideas about general mobility about the fretboard. So that's going to be coming up, and just any of the things that because I didn't really plan that lesson, I just kind of dived in and did it impromptu. The other thing I'm going to do is some of the really cool stuff from the lesson that I think would be really handy micro practices. I'm going to do a series of just content, just very, very quick guitar lesson things. I know this is moving away from sort of the music production thing, but I just thought as it was popular and people are liking it, then I might as well kind of do that. So the thing to bear in mind is, I'm trained as a music coach, and primarily what I want to do is, get people into my music coaching groups. So I run a business basically coaching music producers to make tons of really cool, good music. And I think actually, one of the problem areas are, I think there's plenty of guitarists out there who would like to be kind of making their own music, but find the time hard to balance between family, upkeep on your technique and your instrument, and making music, and that can be very, very overwhelming. So I can highly recommend, going to a coach to overcome that. And what I specialize in is getting people to make music in less time, So, at the very least, could you imagine just being able to make your own backing tracks really, really quick? Then I'm the person. But, if you want to like fully go in and release music and chart and do that, then also I am there to support you doing that. I mean, in my dance career, I charted 7 times, released hundreds of tracks. I've been there, I've been signed to tons of labels. I've had music out on Armada, all sorts of good stuff. I have my band McRocklin Hutch, which was more of a self-releasing project, no labels involved, which is also fairly, I would say, for an underground type affair, pretty successful. I mean, we collaborated with people like Jordan Rudess, who featured on our track, playing keyboards and doing some shredding on that, which was amazing. Michelangelo Batio, Angel Vivaldi, to name a few. We had Mark from Dragon Force sing a song as well. So, I've been about a bit. I know a few things. So if you'd be interested in joining one of my coaching groups, right, do send an email. So the email will be in the description for this, but it's also in the about on this channel. There's also the first thing on the about this channel is a link to the Discord. So if you want to chat to me and stuff like that when I'm about, there's the Discord. So I do kind of jump on there now and then and have a look what's going on. So it's just another place you can talk to me. But other than that, I would suggest, if you're interested in what's on offer and how much it all costs and stuff like that, just send an email and we can tell you what the options are. So, anybody got any guitar questions? I know Gramps was asking about clean guitar playing. I was just thinking about that actually, because like one of my favourite guitar clean sounds is there's a preset on the McRocklin suite called Afterglow, and that's got, like, when you take the effects off it, it's got a great clean. So it's very, very, very clean and compressed. So it's a decent sound, that. So yeah, Gramps was wanting some clean shredding. Well, let's see if I can. Clean shredding, there we go. All right. So any sort of questions, any music related type questions? Other than that, I'm just gonna go over here and chill out in the secret garden, as I like to call it. What do you reckon? All right, that's incredible. A lot of superb known artists and making original tracks is a little bit more work. Right, hold on. Right, let's add to the broadcast. So it's that's incredible. A lot of superb known artists there and making original tracks is a little more work, but fun and worth it. Usually, depending on what the end goal is. Great accuracy in shredding. So. You said something quite interesting there. Depending on what the end goal is. Now, one thing about the way the process works that I think works best, and the way that, I've coached people, and I've coached literally thousands of people. I was trained by a guy called Mike Mundy, who's like one of the top music coaches. He actually coaches Jax Jones and Claude Von Stroke, and he was coaching me, and it's an ongoing thing because in the world of modern music, everything's changing, the industry's changing all the time, so you're constantly being updated. But one of the things that really, really, really does help is not being focused on a particular end goal or result with your music. And the reason that it's not really a good idea is because it creates expectation. With expectation becomes design. And when we start thinking of great, I've got this idea, now I imagine it being this particular thing, okay, and we're working towards that, we kind of stop thinking about all of the other possible opportunities that are coming in from the subconscious, which you find are much more interesting and more about you as a person. It becomes this design thing. It's kind of up there with, making music for other people or making music like another artist but trying to be yourself. It's impossible to kind of make something that sounds like you but is like them. All right, it's just I had a whole career trying to do that. And again, this is like the problem of having a result focus. What we need to do is we need to be focused in on the actual process that's happening, and we need to be asking ourselves at all times, what is the music actually telling me to do? The older I get, the more spiritual music becomes, actually, because it's like when you start creating an idea, it's like, to me, like another life form. And it needs attention, and it needs interacting in a way that's sympathetic to what it is and not what you want it to be. That's how I find, and by doing that, that's when I make the best music. That's when, this is across the board. Like I can be sat in here working behind the scenes here. There's Ableton Live. I can be sitting. Working on this, but at all times it's more like a performance, my process. It's more all the time interacting with what the music's telling me what to do, not what I'm wanting it to be or what I expect it to be. So all the time I focus in on the process, which is all fine and well. But, how do you kind of monitor this progress? Well, I have a whole system called the Automatic Music Making Machine, which basically modularizes creativity into different sections. So, I'll have, it's easier if I just show you. Right, I need to get the right thing up here. Oh, that's the old one, isn't it? Oh, just when I need it. I need to log in, don't I? Right, 2 seconds, because I've got an old one here. Here we go. Right. So what do you think of this? So this is what I've got. Like, this is like a Trello board. And so creativity is modularized, and we'll have these different sections for when we're writing music. So a splurge is where we make music with no judgment whatsoever. So you could imagine a lot of the time when we're making music, we're constantly judging ourselves. And again, we're judging ourselves to other people's music, to what we want the music to be. In other words, that kind of result. But to splurge is the practice of making music without any judgment. We're not focusing on any quality. We're simply just making music to see what happens in the future, because we're not going to listen to it straight away. So what I always recommend is people splurge and they don't listen back for at least 7 days when you're new to this process. The minimum's 3 days if you've got a schedule. And then we have discovery. So discovery is asking yourself, what does the music want to be? So when we listen back to our splurges, we might get some pleasant surprises, and you might think, oh, like I really like that idea. I think there's something there. Discovery is like an investigation into an idea. Drafting is how do we kind of then structure all of these different sections, different contrasting pieces of music that we've wrote in Discovery, because we haven't yet structured it yet. And by which time in Discovery we'll find out what the purpose of the music is, what is the story. And then drafting is then illustrating that story over a period of time, taking the listener for that emotional journey from start to finish. And really everything that kind of happens within this process, once you have a purpose, is to in service of that purpose. Okay, so whatever the story is, whatever the emotion, the idea you're trying to convey over your music, all of the technical problems and all the things that are involved and decisions that are to be made to simplify it is reflective of the purpose. Okay, not reflective of the technical problem itself. Okay, it's like whether, you know, doing this particular thing, correcting this thing or adding this thing, does it actually, you know, does it serve the purpose of the music? Is it what the music wants? So drafting, we're doing an arrangement, a structure with purpose in mind. Done, nothing happens in done. Done is where music just sits, right? And we then basically listen back to it after it's been into draft, it goes into done. There's a little mixing process that we do in draft to get it into done. But once we're in done, what we're doing is we're just thinking about, you know, listening back in 7 days. Do I want to release this? Does this music, is the music, because we don't have to like music we're releasing, but what we do need to ask ourselves is, does this piece of music, is it a good example of what it wants to be? And if it is, then it can be released. Okay, and then release, this is the interesting bit, release is everything we need to do to that piece of music to get it released. Okay, so that could be, if you're doing electronic music, that could be just as simple as actually doing the mix. If we're starting to do live instruments, guitars and things like that, like let's say if you're doing more of a live band thing, it may be that, because we don't want to have any quality judgments early on till we get to release. Release is where we start the quality, okay, where we're getting it ready to go out. So you might have a piece of music where you've basically made the roadmap, the blueprint of it, and then we come to release, and you treat that a bit like taking your band to a studio. So you may re-record, you know, all the live instruments, the bass, the guitars, and then the vocals, okay, based on what you've been doing in the previous sections of the machine. If you're doing electronic music, it may be just mixing it, because what is the point, right? Okay, if you're in done and you know that the song is, you know, you want to release it, it's what you want to do, okay, then that's great. But there is no point in mixing stuff, right, that you're not going to do anything with. So it's an incredible, having this process, just this bit will save you a huge amount of time, because you're not going to waste time early on in the process mixing, doing convergent, like yes-no actions to a piece of music, right, that isn't going to help you make the decision whether you're going to release or not. So we can save all of that time, and then we're only focusing in on actually mixing the music that we want to actually release. So you know, anybody who's interested in learning this process, this is what I cover basically in my coaching groups. So there are 2 coaching groups to join. I'm actually looking at a new intake. So anybody who's interested, if you can send me an email. So the way it works, 'cause I might as well just like tell everybody now. So the way it works is you meet with me 2 hours every week in a group of 4 plus me as your coach. So there'll be 5 of us on a Zoom call, and then I'll just take you through various music making activities that are going to give you insight into your creative process, all right, and help you make music quicker, faster, without judgment, and primarily get your music careers absolutely going, because it'd be great, like, you know, getting stuff on Spotify released and getting a little bit of an income, and that is highly possible by doing this. But what you do have to do is be able to consistently finish music and get it out there. And it's also the way that we learn, you know, once music's at the point where we release it, we can't take that music back, so we can actually learn. We get very valuable data to learn from, to then improve our process. But we meet 2 hours every week, and it's a monthly fee of $237. Okay, so that's all you pay, $237. You can be in a room with me as your coach for 2 hours, and we can just basically make music You don't get to hear each other's music because it's coaching. I'm only interested in facilitating the skills that you have. If there's a group skill deficit and I need to get into the weeds with maybe doing a slightly taught session, if we all agree to that, then I will do that. But other than that, what is incredibly powerful, I find, with all of my clients, is just harnessing the skills and the ideas that they have now, because you don't have to be an amazing shredder or stuff like that. I've seen people many times, right, with very vague musical skills, just have absolutely amazing ideas and do really quirky music that's got so much character and vibe to it, and they just have a sound and they kind of haphazardly sort of get there, and that's what's exciting about music, and that's what's exciting about music now. We can all contribute, but what we do need to contribute is unique ideas that are true to ourselves. There's so much wallpaper music and AI crap out there. We really need to be digging deep into our musical souls and trying to make something unique. I mean, this is why my career really has changed from sort of like dance music producer, and then I've gone back into playing live, playing music live, because it's the most direct contact that I can have with music. And I love doing the live streams. I love like instantly making music, and I love kind of just seeing what comes out and actually being in the moment. It's the thing that I find at the moment improves me the most, but I've also got like a business sort of built around that as well. So the YouTube serves a lot of purposes for me now, sort of at my point in my career. But that then, again, that's all supported by all the releases of music that I've got as a dance musician and as my band McRocklin Hutch. So yeah, as I say, if anybody's interested in the coaching, then that is, that's the way. If you really want to like kind of make music and release stuff, that's the way I can help you the most. But there is and the other thing is, if you like freak out in the first month and you just don't like it, I'll just give you your money back. That's fine. But $237 a month. I haven't had anybody who has refunded me ever, by the way. And I've been kind of running the coaching thing since, hold on. I've been coaching since 2017, as this kind of coaching. And I've been running since 2000, I would say the last 4 years. I've been running the coaching business. I think it's about 4 years, 3 years. So if you're interested in that, that's good. If you're interested in one-to-one coaching sessions, that is also a possibility as well. On availability. And the other way I can help you is, obviously, I'm doing a lot of guitar stuff really now. So I am offering a little bit of guitar coaching as well. So if you're interested in lessons, there's 3 ways I can help you. Coaching group, individual guitar lessons, and one-to-one coaching. All right. So anybody got anything they would like to ask? But other than that, thanks for everybody turning up to my live this morning. It's been brilliant, as always. There's this cool, weird alien noise in my headphones. Find it quite therapeutic. All right. Gone quiet. Alright, sorry, there we go. So Frozen Fury says, very true, I agree with you there, as you were right on the end of the result, and what the music calls for is that it is very important to pay attention to, yeah. Brilliant. All right, everybody. So I think that is me pretty much done for this morning. I'm going to head off. There'll be other live streams. Nothing scheduled particular this week as I've got a couple of things I need to do. But I know the next week there'll be full-on live sessions most mornings. So hopefully most of which I'll have a theme for. But other than that, I will see you next time. All right. Bye for now.